Very good evening, one and all. Welcome to yet another episode of Chrysalis 2020, a commemorative lecture series conducted in remembrance of Father Anthony Kutikar, Dr. Dhanya Menon, and Professor Paul Davies. It is organized by Research and Postgraduate Department of English, St. Lucia's College, Elthurut, in collaboration with I.4 of the college. I welcome our principal, Dr. Taco Juspi, to the session. I also welcome Dr. Betsy Paul, the research coordinator and head of the Department of English, St. Lucia's College, Elthurut. Today's session would be handled by Ms. Varsha Binth Saif, and to chair the session today, we are blessed with an illustrious personality, Mr Francis Kodankandath. I welcome Mr Francis Kodankandath to the our gathering, to the session, and he is a self-taught contemporary artist from Thrissur, who has won several national and international recognition, including the National Lalita Kala Academy Award 2003-2004 for work titled Restoration Within, Kerala Lalita Kala Academy Award for the painting First Supper in 1993, highly commended certificate in Kerala Lalita Kala Academy in 1986 and later in 1990, certificate of merit from UN and NCERT Delhi 1990. His painting has also been selected as a permanent exhibition by Newman Center, University of New Orleans, USA in 2000. And Mia Coupe at the International Confederation of Art Critics comments on his painting. On his spellbound artworks are like dream-like spiritual cosmos where one loses himself. In 2004, Francis was selected for the Trinale and National Awardees exhibition. He has held 54 solo exhibitions in India, Japan, Italy, France, England, America, Thailand, and Dubai. Then his painting series on Mahatma Gandhi, consisting of 16 paintings, were selected by UN and exhibited at the UN Headquarters General Assembly Hall, commemorating the International Day of Non-Violence on October 2nd, 2018. His paintings was also, like his paintings title, Back in My Eden, was selected for Austrian Biennale. He's the only Indian artist to win the recognition. His paintings also mark their presence in Florence Biennale and London Biennale 2017. One of his work titled The Art of Happiness was inaugurated by Dalai Lama at Cochin on 25th November 2012. The series portrays the agony and suffering of the Tibetan community spread across the world in exile. These paintings also symbolize the compassion of the Tibetan people towards their motherland, as well as their expectations that one day they would be able to return to their home. Decoding Da Vinci is another work wherein Sri Francis reinvents the original concept of Da Vinci's iconic work, The Last Supper. His paintings are also curated in several institutions, one of them being our Jubilee Mission Medical College, Thrissur. The sculptures or paintings there are casted by this famous personality. We, the Research and Postgraduate Department of English, of St. Lucia's College, Elthurut, wholeheartedly welcome you, sir, to our gathering. Welcome, Sri Francis, sir. And today's session would be handled by Varsha Binth Saif. Varsha Binth Saif is a full-time research scholar under the guidance of Dr. Father Babu Keti. And currently, Varsha is a very ardent scholar who has also brought laurels to our department. And she is currently a visiting researcher at National Research Council of Thailand, Bangkok. She is also the recipient of someone has unmuted their mic. I request Dr. Neena Nampia to mute their microphone. I think the host or co-host can mute. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. So, Varsha is also a recipient of Visiting Research Scholarship, the Montfort University, UK, and she was also shortlisted for Commonwealth uh, Scholarship of UK. Then her painting on William Shakespeare, as we all know, has also won her several awards, including the Indian Book of Records, Asian Book of Records, World Book of Records, International Book of Records, European Record Books, American Book of Records, etc. Like I think it was almost 8 records to her credit. And today, Varsha would be talking on art is art a path of nirvana? Redefining Vincent Van Gogh's painting The Starry Night in the light of Buddhism. I welcome Varsha Binth Saif to lead the session and Dr. Sri Francis Kodankandath to chair the session. A gentle reminder to all other participants are requested to mute their microphones and they can also post their queries uh, either in the chat box or can ask directly after the session during the open forum that will be conducted after her talk. Francisa, please.
Good evening, all. Hope you all can hear me, right?
Good evening, sir. Yes, we can hear you.
Thanks a lot for allowing me to join you all. Uh, Dear Dr. Chako, Dr. Betsy, very good evening to you all. Thank you, Anju, for your introduction. Actually, as an introductory note, I would like to point out a small thing, a very small thing. That is, how can you paint peace? What will be the color of peace? When you think of painting peace, what color you will use? Actually, that was a challenging question for me when I started painting on Gandhi series, because Gandhiji, as all of you know, is known to be an ambassador of peace, non-violence. So I was a bit reluctant to use very sharp colors. So that was a thought process in which I was involved for almost 1.5 years before painting this Gandhi series. So as we go on, we'll discuss it. I think let Varsha proceed with her paper first, and um, during the discussion, I'll come back again. Is that is okay?
Sure. That's enough. It's okay.
So let Varsha proceed with her paper. Thank you.
this is my topic, art a path to Nirvana. So I'm trying to redefine the painting The Starry Night by Vincent Van Gogh in the light of Buddhism. So this is the painting, The Starry Night. As you all know, this is a famous painting. Okay, so let me give an introduction about Vincent Van Gogh. So Vincent Van Gogh, popularly known as Van Gogh, is a Dutch post-impressionist artist. He is known as a religious fanatic. He is known as a failed pastor and an evangelist. Even though he was very religious at first, like he was trying to follow the traditional path of Christianity. So he was rejected by the power of church, authoritative power of church, but he continued to be a firm believer. So first he started to preach through words, and later he changed the medium from words to colors. So he started teaching what he know about religion, what he knows about religion through his colors. So his sermons were expressed through colors, his paintings. In the first period of Van Gogh's artistic career, we can see that he was very much into, like, a lot of Christian imageries has been used in his works. But when he got introduced into,
I don't know whether it is my problem. I suddenly your voice has become so soft.
can you hear me now, ma'am?
What about the others? Can everyone hear
It
clearly?
is very clear.
I
And
find it.
I think there would be some
Yes,
problem
it's
at
clear. It's
uh,
clear,
some problem at machinery end, I think.
very clear, and loud enough.
Yeah, Varsha, I think you
Okay,
can
then please
continue.
continue.
Okay, thank you.
It's my problem then. Please continue.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So, in the first period of his artistic career, we can see that the paintings he chosen, uh, the images he used was most of religious imageries. But later, he was introduced to Japanese art, and from that moment onwards, he was dragged into Buddhism. So he started developing an interest in reading the religious and philosophical books with Buddhist ideologies. So all these things are evident from his letters. The letters, which can be treated as his biographical notes, and we can even call him as a literary man through his letters. So all these things are evident from his letters. So so we know that Buddhism sprouted from India, but it was flourished in the land of China and Japan. So when he was introduced to the Japanese culture and art, he was taken into the path of Buddhism. So he started liking an artistic style called Japanese. It's like a Japanese artistic culture upon Western art. It's a mix of Asian and Western art. So these all reflects his interest in the Buddhist religious culture. So this is one of the self-portraits of Vincent Van Gogh. So here you can see that he has shaved his head and all, and he himself called as a worshipper of eternal Buddha through one of his letters, which was addressed to Paul Gauguin, the other a famous post-impressionist artist. So here he pictured himself as a self-portrait as a Japanese monk with shaved head. So this I am showing the picture again, the painting of Starry Night. So you can see that there are swirling clouds, then a crescent-shaped moon, 11 stars, then a cypress tree, which is very tall, even leading to the sky, which touches the sky, and background you can see a lot of houses and a church on the background. And from the painting you can see that the canvas is overbrimming with dark blue color. So to give an introduction about the Starry Night, the painting, it was painted in the year 1889 and it is considered as the magnum opus of Van Gogh. So this painting was painted when he was admitted in the Saint Remy Asylum. So according to his letters, it's shown that he painted what he saw through his window from that asylum. So these are the images used. As I just mentioned, the 11 stars, Crescent Moon, Swirling Clouds, large Cypress Tree, then the Saint Remy village, the buildings, the houses, then the long elongated steeple of the church. So the major colors used in the painting are like white color, the dark hues of blue, black, green. So it's used to paint the sky and the cypress. The mint color showing the reflection. The mint green color is showing the reflection of the moon. Then bright yellow color for stars and moon. Then small blocks of yellow, orange, green, and dashes of red are used to paint the buildings. So to start with, in Buddhism, it is considered that there are 5 Transcendental Buddhas, which is represented to 5 different colors. To say blue, yellow, red, white, and green. So according to Buddhism, this is like to personify the abstract aspects of Buddhahood. So these each color show the transformative process, a transformation. It depicts the change in the human delusions to positive qualities. So each Buddha represents a transformative process, a transformation from human delusions to positive qualities. So to take the major color used in the canvas, blue color sky. So as I told, the canvas is overbrimming with the color blue. So dark blue is used for sky, and here we can connect the dark blue to Akshobhya. That is, the blue-bodied Buddha is called Akshobhya. So here we can say that, like we can interpret in the way that Van Gogh identifies himself as a blue-bodied Buddha, Akshobhya. So according to Akshobhya Buddha, the blue color has the power to transform anger into a mirror-like wisdom. So it's like the human delusion, like it has a transformation power to transform anger into the mirror like wisdom. So we can see how it is connected to Van Gogh. So as I told you, like Van Gogh was admitted in the Saint Remy Asylum after a violent act where he cuts off a part of his ear. So you might have heard about the story about Van Gogh and Paul Gauguin's fight, and Van Gogh cuts a small part of his ear and presented it to a prostitute. It's a famous story. So he was admitted to this asylum after this violent act. So this all can be connected to the anger, which can be connected to the blue-bodied Buddha. So in his lifetime, he was not able to succeed in any of his careers. For example, if we are taking his earlier career as an art dealer or an evangelist or even as a missionary or an artist, he was not succeeded in any of his career. He was only got all this popularity only after his death. So he faced many criticisms in his life and he was not accepted by any of the art critics of that time. So these reasons push him to the pit of depression and anger. But we can see that even though he spent a lot of time in different asylums, he never sticks himself to any of these emotions for a long time. He was able to recover. So he always tries to overcome his stiff feelings by immersing himself in the world of colors. So here we can see that, considering all these things, we can say that he himself symbolizes as in a meditating position as a Akshobhya, blue-bodied Buddha, where he's trying to transform his anger, his stiff feelings, the frustration, the depression to level of mirror-like wisdom, like a mirror which never sticks to any of the reflections for a long time, or it won't repulse none. So Van Gogh here is acting as a mirror too, a mirror which stands imperturbable and immutable even in the unfavorable circumstances. So hence, blue colored sky can be compared as the color of Van Gogh, where Van Gogh is trying to equalize himself to Akshobhya Buddha. So through this paper, I am trying to interpret like the painting of Van Gogh, how Van Gogh used painting, the medium of art, as a part to nirvana, as a part to salvation. How he was able to convert all his stiff feelings into positive things. So, in Akshobhya, we can see that if you have noticed about Buddha statues, you can see that Buddha has different postures, mudras. Buddhism, they call it as mudras. So always Akshobhya Buddha is connected to Bhumi Sparsha Mudra. This is the mudra shown in the picture. So this gesture, it is a earth touching gesture with the fingertips on his right hand. So it symbolizes confidence, deep rootedness, and determination. So through this, we can say that, like Van Gogh, even though he was never accepted by the critic world, he never loses his confidence in his artistic talents. So till his death, his artistic career only lasted for 10 years, from 1880 to 1890. So even though it was a short term period, he was completely immersed in the world of art. So even though he was criticized or never accepted by the artistic world, he never loses his confidence in his artistic talents. He wants to expose to the world that, as the Bhumi Sparsha Mudra denotes, he never loses his deep rootedness and determination. So he tried to find a haven in the world of paintings. For him, paintings were the only possible way to achieve his wisdom or nirvana. So again, Akshobhya mantra is connected to the blue-bodied Buddha, Akshobhya Buddha. So this is considered as a mantra to purify the general negative karmas. So Van Gogh was suffering from gonorrhea, and it is believed that Van Gogh was having syphilis. He was criticized for this disease as a punishment for disobeying the authoritative power of church. But Van Gogh was never bothered about this criticism, but he was always haunted by the thought that his affair with a prostitute named Sia had brought him this disease. So for him, this use of blue color, and when we are connecting it to this mantra, this is like his longing for redemption. He believed that Akshobhya mantra will purify him from all his mistakes and will take him to salvation. So next is the yellow stars and the moon. So to begin with the color, we know that the saffron robes, the yellow color, that can be connected to the saffron robes of Buddhist monks. Earlier, this color was worn by criminals, and Buddha had selected the same color for the robes of monks to show the humility and separation from the materialistic world. So it is considered as a symbol of renunciation, desirelessness, and humility. So Van Gogh also used this color to show his desire to separate himself from the materialistic world, the illusion world which succumbs and entraps him into relationships, love, and the harsh realities of life. So we know that most of his religious paintings take birth just before the years of his death, the important ones. So it is clear that he was longing to lead a spiritual life, completely retarding from the materialistic life. So next one about the 11 stars. You can see that in the picture, from the picture, he has painted 11 stars. So actually, every time this painting is connected to Christianity, like 11 stars, the story of Joseph, and all. But here, I'm trying to connect it to Buddhism, like the 11 stars can be connected to the 11 headed cannon shown in the picture. So, Jushimen Canon or a 11 headed canon is a bodhisattva or is considered as an enlightened deity who is represented as the symbol of Buddhist wisdom and compassion. So, it is believed that canon remains in the world to help and find salvation. So, Van Gogh, by representing these 11 stars, is trying to symbolize the 11 headed canon and believes that canon will help him to find salvation. So next is about the crescent moon. So this crescent moon can be related to the crescent shape thing used in the Buddhist stupa. So according to the Buddhist stupa, the crescent shape symbolizes the element air. So when the crescent is placed in a horizontal shape, it looks like a half moon and it resembles like a bow. So it acts as a receptacle destined to receive a sacred deposit. The time when Van Gogh painted the Starry Night, actually it was not a crescent moon phase, and in reality, 3/4 full. So we can say that he he intentionally did this. So when he observes the night scene of Saint Remy, he consciously avoided the moon shape of that time and he tried to picture a crescent moon to symbolize that his mind as a receptacle for the sacred deposit, as if suggested in the Buddhist stupa. So he simply wants to show that he himself is ready to accept the deposition of faith. The elements of faith twinkles in the stars and the moon in this painting. So the next one is about the swirling clouds, and it can be connected to the yin and yang symbol, the oriental yin and yang symbol, which is very popular in Chinese philosophy. According to Chinese yin and yang symbols, it represents the perfect balance between the opposing but complementary forces which is found in all things in the universe. But in Buddhism, the yin and yang symbol, you can see from the picture. This is considered as the holy seat of Buddha. So inside this, the yin and yang symbol is enclosed in a legendary lotus, and it signifies the holy seat of Buddha, a symbol denoting purity and perfection. So yin and yang being the center with perfect balance, when combined with the sacred lotus, makes a perfect focal point for the body, mind, and spirit. So here, Van Gogh was also he was longing for a perfect balance in his life. As he was always thrown into the darker side of his life with mental instability, like he was never able to achieve a balanced mind and a body. So with this, by painting this swirling clouds, which can be connected to the yin and yang, here we can say that he was trying to find a perfect balance in his life. For him, his emotions, the mind, the spirit were in balance. So he always wanted to lead a normal life, a life where he can put himself to a comfort seat, like Buddha places himself in the center of lotus yin and yang, a place of complete wholeness achieved through personal balancing. So the next one is about the cypress tree. So this cypress tree, we can connect it to the cypress tree, especially the Bhutan cypress, the Kashmir cypress and all, which associated to the Buddhist religious places. The Bhutan cypress trees are associated with Buddhist religious places and planted around Vihara monasteries and Buddhist temples for centuries. So they believe that like the cypress trees like can connect to God. He believes that, sorry, not they. He believes that the cypress trees can connect to God because it is always planted around the viharas where the Buddhist monks live. So Buddhist temples and monasteries being the abode of God, he believed that cypress trees, when planted around them, get connected with God. In the painting, we can see that there is a very large cypress tree which touches the sky, and it shows the connection between earth and heaven. For Van Gogh, he considers the cypress tree as a path which leads him from earth to heaven to reach God. When we are tracing his life, we can see that he always dreamed about connecting himself with God. So, for example, by being a pastor and an evangelist and all, but it never succeeds. So he believed that through the painting he can connect to God easily. So through paintings he tried to reach God. For him, Cyprus was a kind of link which he always longs for, a road which has the power to take him to heaven, to connect with God. So this green color can also be connected to the green bodied Buddha, Amoghasiddhi. According to Buddhism, green color is denoted as the color of action, and it is connected to Amoghasiddhi. So Amoghasiddhi, the almighty conqueror, or he who unerringly achieves his goal, it they believe that it has the power to transform jealousy into the wisdom of accomplishment. So Van Gogh believes that through karma, through the action, he will be able to succeed in his life. Even though everyone labels him as a failure in his career and life, he keeps on working to reach the triumph through his actions, and he was able to achieve, even though he was not able to achieve any fame in his lifetime. Through his karma, he was able to achieve the fame after his death. So here he's trying to follow the thoughts of Amoghasiddhi, who insists on transforming the poison of envy into accomplishment through one's own actions. So, like a cypress tree, he was trying to overcome the challenges and obstacles he confronted in his life, and he was aiming to become a great artist through his hard work. So, next one is the mudra of Amoghasiddhi, which is Abbaya Mudra. So it symbolizes fearlessness and protection. So for Van Gogh, cypress is something like that. It's like something which encourages him to be fearless. So as the cypress guards the Buddhist monasteries, he too believes that he will be guarded and protected by the cypress or the divine spirit. And that belief makes him to paint cypress tree in the foreground. It is above all the images in the picture. So he was trying to use cypress as a protection, and that's why he painted in the foreground in front of other images. So Amoghasiddhi is also the Dhyani Buddha of the north. So the Dhyani Buddha's green color signifies the sun at midnight. It is like a force which is powerful even its presence is not visible. It rules over the element of air and embodies the skandha of volition, also called the skandha of like mental phenomena or tendencies of mind. So Van Gogh longs to be a Dhyani Buddha who wants to rule or master or his own mental phenomena or mind, which in reality was not under the control of him. So by using the green color, we can also connect it to the Dhyani Buddha of North. Through this, by representing this like Dhyani Buddha, he was trying to be the master of his own mental phenomena and mind. And the dominant colors, as I mentioned earlier, is blue, black, green, yellow, white, and red. And it reminds about the principal colors of Buddhism. These are considered as the principal colors of Buddhism: blue, black, green, yellow, white, and red. Except black, all these colors are used. All these colors are associated with specific Buddha. So Van Gogh's dominant use of these five colors in the Starry Night itself, we can we can say that it itself shows that his influence upon the religion and culture of Buddhism, and how he has used uh, art as a path to nirvana, art as a powerful tool to find his true self. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Varsha. That was indeed a very good presentation. May I now request Sir Francis Kodankandath to speak a few words.
Thank you, Varsha, for your fabulous presentation. And it is indeed a fresh thought process connecting Van Gogh with Buddhism. I really appreciate that way of thinking, connecting a purely Western artist with a rather Eastern religious background of Buddhism and Lord Buddha. Actually, I think Van Gogh has painted several starry night pictures. And you can see the cypress trees, the stars, and the colors are running parallel. Like Varsha explained, the cypress trees always trying to reach to the skies or to the stars. But I am more concerned about the colors he used by Van Gogh. I think that connects more to Buddhism and Buddha. The contrast of colors, the deep violet sky, the bright yellow stars, which are almost larger than life size, and the crescent moon, everything connects us to Buddhism. So coming back to my earlier question I raised to you, which will be the most appropriate color to paint to paint peace? Actually, I think it is light blue, because God's palette, sky is blue, sea is blue, so that covers almost more than 80% of the universe. So God as a symbol of peace, and as an artist, I find God himself as an artist. He used light blue maximum, as I mentioned, in sky and sea. So here also Varsha mentioned the importance of blue in Van Gogh's palette. And we can also see the effect of light blue in his painting titled Starry Night. Even though the life of Van Gogh was having some sharp edges towards the reality, he actually longed for peace. like Buddha. Longing for peace is really humane. We all long for peace, pray for peace. And as Varsha mentioned, the Dhyani Buddha, the Ashobha Buddha, these are peace postures of Buddha, and the symbols or the mudras also represent how peace can be spread in the ambient where you live. So I really enjoyed your talk, dear Varsha. Go on with your creative endeavor. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for this original thought process. Like Van Gogh, he was one of the original painters. Originality comes from the heart and it matures in your mind. So you are original, Varsha, and Van Gogh was original. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sri Francis, sir. Then session is now open for discussion. The participants can raise their queries either by unmuting their microphones or posting their questions in the chat box.
Hello, Varsha. That was a very good presentation, something really novel and innovative. We did not actually get to hear about such discussions in literary platforms, so that was definitely very innovative. So I just wanted to ask you about one thing. You were talking about Nirvana and you were associating Van Gogh with Buddhism. So is there a difference between being religious and being spiritual? So I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, thank you, Anita, for the question. Like, actually, Van Gogh was a spiritual person. Rather than calling him as a religious one, I would like to call him as a spiritual person, because religion is like beliefs and spirituality is like a set of rules to achieve a peaceful, like a peaceful mindset or peaceful life. So at first he was very religious, but when he started to follow like the traditional path of Christianity, like he was actually following the path of Jesus, we can say like that, because he was not into the materialistic world. He wants to help the poor. So that makes him like to live a life with the poor people, with the miners and the poor peasants and all. So in the earlier life we can say he was very religious, but when he was rejected by the Christian authoritative power of church first, he was appointed as an evangelist first, and he was like removed from that position later when they thought that like he was trying to follow only the traditional path of Christianity. He was removed from that position. So his religious thoughts tried to take form in the shape of spirituality. So later he was more into spiritual life, trying to shape a peaceful environment for himself, trying to uh, if, rather than setting rules by the other authoritative power, he was trying to set a rule for himself, which will take him to the path of, as I said, to the path of nirvana. So he was more religious than more spiritual than religious. And religion and spirituality is quite two different terms.
I have a doubt, Varsha. Can I ask?
Yeah, ma'am.
As Sri Francis said, this is a very original research. I would like to know why this sort of a connection was never brought out earlier, because Van Gogh lived so long back. And okay, if there is such an obvious connection between him and Buddhism, why didn't we hear about it earlier? Or have other scholars too done similar research?
The main reason itself is that, like, why I selected this research topic is because I didn't see any of the research, like these type of researchers on the area of Van Gogh. There are a lot of researchers on Van Gogh, but I can say like most of 98% of none of them have connected him to like Buddhism. There are some researches on Buddhism, but most of them only try to find only a surface level of research on Buddhism, just like how everyone was trying to connect him to Japanese art and culture and focusing only connecting him to Christianity. And I was curious about that, and that makes me to research about this, because when I thought that like uh, uh, from his self-portrait, that shaved head self-portrait, it is obvious that he was very much into Buddhism. And I was so curious about that, and I tried to connect the paintings which was only interpreted in the light of Christianity. I tried to connect those paintings into Buddhism. But there are some paintings which is very related to Buddhism, so I am not researching on that. I'm just connecting only the paintings which is always interpreted in the light of Christianity. And I don't know why people have not done this. I'm also curious.
Is there a colonial conspiracy, something like that? The Westerners were not very happy to associate Van Gogh, their great painter, to Indian or Buddhism, Indian religions or Buddhism.
Maybe because in one of his letters he mentioned that it is obvious from this Japanese culture, the Japanese culture which is connected to the Japanese art style, which is connected to Western. In one of his letters, he has told that it is obvious from these old paintings that Asian art and culture is always something above Western. So sometimes maybe that they don't want to establish something like that.
And what exactly led you to this connection? What is the first trigger point where you connected Van Gogh with Buddhism? I will start with that question.
It was because of his letters, because I have read his letters. 903 letters are existing now. I have gone through all the letters and I found that he was very much into Buddhism. So first when I read the letters, like I thought that he was not only into one religion. He was trying to figure out how he can find or how he can overcome all his frustrations and all with the use of colors and words. I would like to call him like the man of words and colors. So he was like trying to find something like different, not just with on the same path. He was trying to find something different. So I also thought that I want to find something different. And from his letters, it is obvious that he was very much into Buddhism. So I started noticing the time period from where Van Gogh started mentioning about Japanese culture and Buddhism, and I started like analyzing the paintings from that period. So with that thoughts, I was able to find a lot of paintings after this period or from that period onwards, which can be connected to Buddhism.
Okay, thank you, Varsha.
Thank you.
Varsha, there is a question in the chat box. Why has Starry Night become so famous? Like the painting did not rise to fame in its lifetime, but posthumously. It becomes significant. Why did it rise to fame after his death? Is there any special reason? The question was posed by Sister Angela.
Okay. So this painting is famous because of the unique artistic style. You can see that in most of the paintings he is using the same artistic style, but here you can see that the swirling clouds and the stars are very big stars. Then the cypress trees which are touching the sky and all. So unique images. Even though he mentioned that he has drawn what he saw through the window of Saint Remy Asylum, but more than that, uh, it is believed that it is something related to, it has some autobiographical elements, like sorry, biographical elements in that of Van Gogh. So that was one reason. And the other thing is that this, as I mentioned earlier, this painting is always connected to Christianity, about the 11 stars and all, which is always connected to Joseph and 11 brothers. Then everything was connected to, because we can see some obvious connections with, clear connections with Christianity. So it was famous in that way also, because of the biographical details, the autobiographical elements of him, and this one, the unique style, and also the Christian elements which are very visible in the painting.
Okay, Varsha, there is another question. Um, just now you said he was more spiritual than religious. So can we say that he was totally against religion? The question was posed by Sidhya.
No, we can't say that he was against religion. He was like the authoritative power of religious people. He was not against religion, because he was, in the last paintings also we can see that there are some, he used a lot of Christian imageries in that. So we can't say that he was against religion, but he was against the authoritative power of church. That is why from the this painting itself we can see that the, like the church is painted, but it is painted, like it is painted in the background of that houses maybe. And there we can see the some dashes of red color also used on that buildings, on the church. So this all, it is believed that he was against the authoritative power of church, but not against religion. He believes that after that all these problems with the authoritative power, he was like more into spirituality. That doesn't mean that he was against religion. He was always a true Christian, but he was trying to find himself through different kind of religion.
Yeah, that's right, Varsha. Always religion and religious authority are two different lights at two different points. Okay, another question. I mean, it is a comment actually posted by Arya. Yeah, that was a wonderful presentation and interpretation, Varsha. She has two comments. Actually, I was wondering if this could be connected to eco-criticism, especially to eco-spirituality, like the environment reflecting spirituality when viewed through the eyes of the artist. As a starry night is rich in images from nature. Another comment is that was Arya was also reminded of Hitler, who was also an artist. But unlike Van Gogh, whom art became a means of nirvana in times of frustration, art did not turn Hitler into art did not turn in him as a transforming force. And these are two comments present by posted by Arya.
Okay, thank you.
Is this thing connected to eco spirituality? I mean, have you ever come across such a point?
Yes, yeah. Thank you, Arya, for the question. Like, yeah, this is a good thought. Like eco spirituality. Yes, we can see that a lot of religious as well as the, like the images is used from the he has used a lot of images from the nature, and it can be connected to spirituality, reflecting spirituality, and it's like reflecting his own identity. So yes, this can be connected to eco spirituality, I believe. And the second question, like about Hitler, he was also an artist, and it did not turn into a transforming force for him. It's like how we use it. For Van Gogh, it's like art was everything for him. For Hitler, maybe like he loves to draw, paint, and all, but he was not into that. He was not into art that much. But Van Gogh, we can't compare him to that because he was fully into the world. From if we are tracing his life from the childhood onwards, we can see that he was longing to find the true identity of himself. He was longing to find a true self in himself. So for him, art was one of the mediums. First, it was the words for him, like through the preachers and all. He was trying to give his messages and all through his preachers, through words. It is very clear from his letters also. So later it changed into colors. So for him, those things were like a medium to communicate with the world, a medium to find a true self in them. But for Hitler, he was he was not into that. He was searching for something else. That's the difference. How we use it. Thank you.
Another question: was Van Gogh interested in literature? Before that, I think Sir Francis could speak on this thing, like how paintings are connected to eco spirituality, how paintings uh, can be connected to eco criticism or eco spirituality, with especially paintings on nature. If you could say a few words, we would be grateful to you.
Is it for me?
Yes, sir. I have read that most of your paintings are related to religious imageries, or they are always connected to nature, like back to my Eden. I've read an article on that piece, so I thought you would be able to
Actually, yeah.
use on that.
Actually, um, Van Gogh's life was a grim and I think desperate struggle against poverty, hunger, alcoholism, and insanity. His attempt to find an artist colony with the painter Paul Gauguin ended in a harrowing experience of self mutilation when he cut off part of his left ear. See, these are the things which makes Van Gogh a bit different from those European artists. He was fighting hunger, poverty, and he experienced a bit of peace through paintings, I think. So, even though the society, the artist community, and the people around him, and the authorities, church authorities, were a bit against his style of life, he fought against all of them through his paintings. So painting was his weapon, or paintings were his armor. His life was a real fight. All these contributed to what real Van Gogh is. And relating Van Gogh thought process with that of Lord Buddha, from my heart, I thought Varsha is taking a real risk by comparing such a violent artist with Lord Buddha, the symbol of peace. But she connected both these aspects in a very deep line of Buddhist thought process. That was really wonderful. When I was watching her talk, I got interested how she built up that connection. That was really a wonderful experience. Connecting such a violent artist with Lord Buddha, the living example for peace, that was a really tough job. So it was wonderfully done, Varsha. Anything more from my side?
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I think that's a question. That's already questions, Varsha. If there are no further queries, we can wind up the session, I believe. Are there any other questions?
I would like to have a word, not a question. So I'd like to congratulate Varsha for her presentation. And I'm extremely delighted and glad that Francis Kodankandath is here for this program. In fact, I should say that he is the first professional artist whom I have met. I still remember probably when I was in school, one of his paintings, which was Jesus on a cross. That is a painting, if I remember correctly, of some 3 or 4 feet in height. And it was for the first time that I have seen such a massive oil painting for real, and the artist also for real. And later, I remember one of his another paintings called, it's a family painting where, if I remember correctly, it was titled Avasheshikunavar. So I remember that. Then, I always call him Francis Chatton as an elderly brother, and I have always watched him growing from a painter in his teenagers to a very senior artist who is being recognized world over through various international artistic events and biennales. So I'm extremely happy that he happened to be part of this program. So on behalf of the college, I would like to thank Sri Francis Kodankandath for being a part of this program. Thank
Thank you, Chacomon.
you.
Thank you, Dr. Chaco.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Chaco. Now, I think there are no further queries, so we shall move on to the final session, final part of our session. I would like to place on record our sincere gratitude to Sri Francis Anthony Kodankandath who has agreed to come up to chair the session. I know that this would be indeed a very uh, small attempt from our side. I mean, you would be given a much more elaborate platform to speak on your paintings, your views, and all. And before that, I actually have missed the point that Sri Francis had come to us amidst his uh, professional uh, schedule. Like he is working as a customs intelligence superintendent at Calicut International Airport. And he has also won several official credits, official accolades. Like he was rewarded 146 times for seizures of narcotics, smuggling, gold, and electronic goods. He was also awarded a commendation certificate 8 times for his excellence issue of narcotics. Best Turnout Award on Republic Day 2006 and all. So, such an eminent personality has agreed to come to chair the session. Um, Thank you, sir. I express our sincere gratitude representing the whole research community of St. Aloysius College, Elpirit. And I also thank Dr. Chaco Joseph, who has attended the session and has also made his presence by making some remarks on both Varsha and Sir Francis are also uh, remembering his uh, childhood experiences with Sir Francis. I thank Dr. Betsy Paul, HOD and Research Coordinator of PGM Research Department of English St. Aloysius College. I also thank Dr. Leena. She was with us throughout the session. She was a care post at Government College Madapalli. I thank Dr. Mary Paul, HOD at Prajoti Niketan College, Pudukkad. She was also with us throughout the session, and all other participants from different colleges and different research centers and all, also to our research scholars at our department. Thank you everyone for joining us. It was indeed a very wonderful and delighting presentation by Varsha. Thank you, Varsha. It was a very commendable one. And all the best for your research, or your best for your life and career at Thailand. I believe that there was a painting, those two paintings are painted by you. I have seen them in WhatsApp statuses. It is that Varsha's version of Starry Night and Vincent Van Gogh. So congratulations, Varsha. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Good night.
Thank you, Betsy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Francis. So glad that you're here. And